show in Hong Kong. Even the most ordinary objects often have an extraordinary story to tell. We only have to watch and listen.
My name is Danny Forster, and I'm at NASA's Kennedy Space Center, and this is Build It Bigger. My job takes me to the most incredible construction projects on the planet. But today, I'm going behind the scenes of man's exploration of space. With unprecedented access to one of the world's most restricted buildings.
Oh, it's the space shuttle.
As the space shuttle prepares for one of its last flights ever. NASA is kicking off the boldest mission in its history, Constellation. I'll meet the engineers who are literally reinventing the American space program, aiming to land back on the moon and then head 35 million miles further to the red planet, Mars. Getting there means surviving one of the harshest environments ever encountered, space. Right now, workers are erecting two of the tallest rockets ever.
So I'm now inside an Ares rocket.
While astronauts train for the most expensive construction project in history.
They're doing construction.
That is correct.
I mean, they're building the space station.
That is correct.
And test drive a vehicle built to explore the unknown.
Is this Mars?
This is Mars.
And if they can pull it off,
That was it. It worked just as planned.
then the dream of exploring new worlds is about to become reality.
Ignition, we have liftoff.
It's about 7 a.m., and as you can see, the sun is rising here at the Kennedy Space Center in NASA. And I'm about to see what has been called the most complex machine ever built. In that hangar right there is the space shuttle. This is about as close as any non-NASA personnel can ever get. And that's the Endeavour, and it's getting ready for one of its 3 final missions ever. Before it launches in just 2 months, the Endeavour must be pointed up to space. But at 122 feet long and weighing 200,000 pounds, only one place at NASA has the sheer capacity to lift it up. Behind me, the Space Shuttle Endeavour is entering into one of the largest buildings on the planet, the Vehicle Assembly Building. The VAB is the final stop before the launch pad, so access is highly restricted. One of NASA's top guns, the guy who literally directs each shuttle launch, is giving me a behind-the-scenes tour.
Oh, it's the space shuttle.
You know, a lot of people who don't work for NASA don't ever get this close to a space shuttle.
It's a beautiful machine. It's absolutely a gorgeous machine.
There it is. There's the Endeavour. I didn't expect to feel this way, but you get this close to a space shuttle. I mean, you get chills. I mean,
It's an amazing machine. It's just gorgeous. Even though she's flown a couple of dozen times, it looks just fantastic to me.
For 28 years, the shuttles have flown over 100 successful missions. But these glider-shaped spacecraft were only designed for low Earth orbit, and they rarely go past 350 miles above the Earth. But this limit poses a problem, because NASA is setting their sights 100,000 times further into space. For the first time in decades, rocket scientists are going back to the drawing board for a brand new program called Constellation. They're designing a new set of rockets, building a brand new launching pad, all in service of its boldest mission ever, to establish a permanent base on the moon and land a human being on planet Mars. It's an ambitious 20-year plan to explore new worlds. It'll cost $230 billion. But perhaps the biggest challenge, design NASA's first new spacecraft in almost 40 years. To do that, engineers are reaching back into history. NASA's spacecraft design comes in one of 2 forms. You have shuttles, and you have rockets. This is the Saturn V rocket, the single largest rocket ever built at 363 feet long. Now, the amazing aspect of the design of this rocket is that the astronauts are located on the very top of the rocket. So during launch, they're away from the fuel and the boosters, making it significantly safer. The drawback, however, with the exception of the capsule, the entire rocket was destroyed during launch and therefore not reusable. The present program has the composite shuttle design, made up of an orbiter, 2 solid rocket boosters, and 1 very large external fuel tank. Now, what makes this design so fantastic is that the shuttle can go into space, perform its mission, and then come back to Earth, therefore making it reusable. The problem is, the astronauts themselves during launch are located on the side of the craft, adjacent to the fuel and the boosters, making it significantly more dangerous. Today, NASA is making its second significant design transition to the Constellation programs. We're going back to a rocket program where astronauts are safely located atop the craft, but the benefit is almost the entire body of the rocket can be recycled. It's a bold new plan that starts with 2 of the largest rockets ever designed. The Ares 1, at 321 feet, it's taller than the Statue of Liberty. Designed to launch first and carry 4 astronauts to space in a crew capsule. And the Ares 5, at 381 feet tall, weighing 8 million pounds, this is the biggest, heaviest rocket ever built, launching second and carrying mission supplies to the astronauts before they head off together into space. The very first pieces of this new space program are under construction right now in the VAB. A prototype called the Ares 1X that's launching in just 4 months.
So let me get this straight. The rocket you're building right here, this is not going to have man or women. This is actually a gigantic model rocket.
It's you can look at it that way. We have about 800 sensors on it, and we'll be getting vibration data, getting aero data, thermal data to understand how does the rocket fly. That way we can put in design decisions to Ares 1 and make it fly safer.
To anticipate how the real Ares will fly, this test version has the exact same shape, but without the cargo inside, it won't have the same weight.
So the shape of this thing has to be identical to the actual rocket you plan to fly. What about the weight? How do you match the weight?
We're using steel upper stage simulators.
So, I mean, you're shooting up a steel rocket?
Yeah.
What would it be on the actual rocket?
The inner stage portion is going to be likely aluminum lithium, and that's about the thickness of a Coke can.
So you're going from half-inch thick solid steel plate to aluminum that is the thickness of a Coke can.
Roughly, yes. We want it as light as possible because that way you can get more mass up.
And instead, you're doing the opposite.
When all 6 of these segments are stacked, they'll create a rocket 327 feet tall. And right now, we are in the upper stage. So I'm now inside an Ares rocket.
You are inside what would be a liquid oxygen tank.
Since the prototype will be empty, this tank won't hold any fuel. Instead, the rocket will be lined with 800 data sensors.
Because in reality, you can do a computer model, you can do a wind tunnel test, but no one's ever flown a rocket of this shape, of this size before.
You can model that all you want, but at the end of the day, you really got to go fly it to make sure you understand it.
This is really going back in time in many ways to where NASA started.
It is. We're building a moon rocket again. This is the first step to going back to the moon.
It's been almost 40 years since a human last walked on the moon, and when they did, it was with unpressurized open-air buggies, with only 7 hours of oxygen. They were limited to roaming less than 5 miles in any direction. This time, the goal is much larger: to spend months exploring thousands of miles of lunar surface.
I'm on the moon! I'm not really on the moon. I'm actually in Texas, in a small town outside of Houston. But I am in a place called the Rock Yard. And this is a man-made, fake lunar surface with craters and all. Now, why build a fake lunar surface? Well, it's the only place to really accurately test that thing right there. The Lunar Electric Rover. This is going to be our car on the moon.
Danny, good to see you.
Good to meet you.
All right.
Mike, you're an astronaut.
That's right.
You've been to space.
4 times.
So, Mike, this is more than just a way to drive around the moon.
Absolutely.
This is a place to live as well.
It's a place to live, and the plan is to do long-term human occupation of the moon so we learn how to live and work on a planetary surface. We're going to spend at least up to 6 months at a time and probably do hundreds of spacewalks in that period.
For nearly half a century, working in space has been a difficult, even painful experience, one that would put serious limits on our future ability to explore other worlds.
You have a spacewalk to do.
Right.
And it takes you 6 hours to get dressed.
Exactly. The spacesuits themselves create a lot of trauma on you because when you're working in the spacesuit, it's pressurized to 4.3 pounds per square inch. That's like working inside of a basketball. So it's just stiff as a board, and it's not bad if you spend like an hour in it, but if you spend 8 hours in it, you come out all beat up.
The rover's designers came up with an ingenious solution, an embedded spacesuit that's easy to put on and take off.
And you literally just open this interior hatch, and then this is actually the backpack on the suit. And it opens up, and there is your spacesuit.
Wow.
And you literally just step into the suit, and when you release the suit from the suit port, this goes with you.
With the spacesuit's step-in entryway, it will take a fraction of the normal 6 hours to get ready for a spacewalk.
The huge innovation is being able to get from this comfortable area in my t-shirt and my jeans into a spacesuit in 10 minutes flat.
Exactly.
There is even an option to view terrain without ever stepping outside.
So I'm sitting here not but 2 inches from a lunar rock. And if I like this thing, what, within 10 minutes I'm outside.
Exactly.
This is a crazy experience. This is an absurd, weird, perceptual moment. Mike, you invented one of the weirdest things I've ever been a part of.
Thank you.
To handle tough, otherworldly terrain, designers gave the rover 10 times the torque of a military Humvee.
Here she goes. We're going in. Now we're going into the crater. We're going into the crater. Here we go. That is incredible. So this thing's got some traction.
It does.
Despite all of its power, the rover tops out at a whopping 12 miles per hour, which is fine for me.
Here we go. Seatbelted?
Yep. Okay. Yep.
Here we go. And we're cruising.
Coming up, training on Earth for the most difficult construction project in history, 250 miles in space.
Wake up your whiskers with Electric Shave. Electric Shave! Stands up whiskers for an up to 52% closer shave.
Man, that was close.
Electric Shave. Blade close. Electric smooth.
Brought to you in part by DirecTV. With DirecTV, you can easily set your home DVR to record from any cell phone or computer.
I'm telling you, we're getting smothered by DirecTV.
Oh, yeah. Their customers love that they can watch high-def movies in full 1080p and Dolby surround sound.
Not as much as they would like watching it in 1080p.
But we don't broadcast in 1080p.
No. Neither does DirecTV. Oops. Looks like someone just leveled the playing field.
Get the best HD picture and sound. Call 1-800-DIRECTV.
I was always going. Having to go in the middle of traffic and just starting and stopping. Having to go in the middle of a ball game and then not being able to go once I got there. And going at night. I thought I had a going problem. My doctor said I had a growing problem.
It wasn't my bladder. My prostate was growing. I had an enlarging prostate that was causing my urinary symptoms.
My doctor prescribed Avodart.
Over time, Avodart actually shrinks the prostate and improves urinary symptoms.
So I can go more easily when I need to go, and go less often.
Avodart is for men only. Women should not take or handle Avodart due to risk of a specific birth defect. Do not donate blood until 6 months after stopping Avodart. Tell your doctor if you have liver disease. Rarely sexual side effects, swelling, or tenderness of the breasts can occur. Only your healthcare provider can tell if symptoms are from an enlarged prostate and not a more serious condition like prostate cancer. So have regular exams. Call your doctor today. Avodart, help take care of your growing problem.
Attention, several batches of the drug heparin have been recalled due to contamination.
Heparin is a blood thinner used for surgery or dialysis patients or other bedridden patients.
Heparin has been linked to hundreds of serious injuries, as well as several deaths.
Severe injuries have also been reported. Organ failure, low blood pressure, shock, or even death. Warning signs include chest pains, difficulty breathing, allergic reactions, abdominal pain, fainting, low energy, nausea or vomiting, skin redness, increased sweating, throat swelling, or headaches.
All of these things are indications of heparin poisoning. call us. You may be entitled to a large cash award.
If you've had surgery, kidney dialysis, or if you've been bedridden, you may have been given heparin and not even known it. Call the Goldwater Law Firm right now.
There's a time limit to file your claim. Don't wait. Call us right now.
If you've had any of these symptoms, call the law firm of Robert Goldwater at 800-645-7733.
This is Chuck. Chuck is an engineer. 48 hours ago, he was on Catch It, Keep It. Each week, one team of experts has one shot to save a dazzling prize from certain doom. Sometimes they succeed.
Yeah!
Sometimes, well, not so much. Better luck next time, Chuck.
You want it, you see it, you catch it, you keep it, and then you'll be taking
Catch It, Keep It. The clock begins Friday, July 17th at 10, only on Science Channel.
With its new Constellation program, NASA is getting ready to take its next giant leap into space.
So for the past 30 years, NASA's been going in low Earth's orbit in the shuttle. Done a lot of amazing work, built a space station, but now we're going to go further. You're trying to press onto the moon and potentially even onto Mars.
That's right. That's the ultimate goal. So if we build this family of rockets between the Ares 1 and the Ares 5, we're trying to look long term, and we don't want to limit ourselves how far we can go.
You see, it's not enough to build a new set of rockets that can fly 35 million miles to Mars. The bigger challenge is preparing human beings to survive the trip.
I'm at the NBL, the Neutral Buoyancy Lab, and this is the single largest interior swimming pool on planet Earth. 102 feet wide, 202 feet long, and 40 feet deep. But this pool has nothing to do with swimming. This pool is where astronauts train how to be in space.
The NBL is NASA's primary training ground here on Earth for its permanent habitat up in orbit, the International Space Station. And that is where these astronauts will be going on a mission that launches in just months.
So how close is it to that zero-G environment once you'll be down there?
That's spot on, except for you don't have divers and water up there.
The NBL's lack of oxygen simulates the airless vacuum of outer space. So for these astronauts, spacesuits are mandatory.
What you're looking at right there is a real pressurized spacesuit. That's not a mock-up suit. That's the actual spacesuit he'll be using in 2 months up in the space station. My God, it's like stuff on a sausage. I mean, it's a tight fit.
Yeah, it's very uncomfortable.
Okay, so he's now in his suit.
Yes.
What's he feeling on his body?
He's just chilling right now.
That doesn't look like chilling in any way that I've ever done before. So they are. It's getting picked up on the crane and going up and into the pool. And this is intense. This is one of their last training missions before they're going to go into space and work on the space station. There he goes. They're there. They're in the water. Dude, I just got a high five from Danny. It's pretty awesome.
This training exercise is not just about simulating weightlessness. These astronauts have a much tougher task waiting for them up in space.
So what I find fascinating is when they go up there, they're not just doing scientific experiments and research, they're doing construction.
That is correct.
I mean, they're building the space station.
That is correct. The shuttle crews these days, that's their primary function currently, is to actually take up new pieces of station or replacement parts for maintenance and building the station.
Because even after 10 years of labor and $157 billion, the space station, the most expensive construction project in history, is still only 80% complete. So when these astronauts arrive in orbit, they will be taking on one of NASA's most dangerous jobs: space construction. Up to 8 exhausting hours in a stiff, pressurized suit. Oh, and if you drop a tool, it could be gone forever. And there's no hardware store 250 miles above Earth. So NASA sends a new cargo shipment every 3 months.
Every piece of cargo, every tool, any supply those astronauts need get assembled right here in this facility. And today, we're going to find out how you send cargo from planet Earth up to outer space.
Because the space station is a sealed environment, any debris that makes it to orbit will stay on board forever. So we have to wear these full-body clean suits. Gear that flies into space rides in the space station's equivalent of a moving van. The unit is called the MPLM, the Multi-Purpose Logistics Module.
So this is the inside of the module going to space.
That is correct.
gotta admit, this looks very spacey. Can we go inside?
Absolutely.
So, like, sometimes when I send packages, I put, like, you know, like, glass, very breakable, handle with care.
Right.
Always gets broken.
You should let us pack.
Yeah. I mean, it's basically, you have the most hardcore handle with care, fragile sign in the world.
Absolutely. Because we can guarantee you one thing, it will be a rough ride.
In fact, no package on Earth has a rougher ride. The launch creates a 188 decibel shockwave that could tear the spaceship apart. Then, the flight. 8.5 minutes of pure acceleration to over 17,000 miles per hour. Survive that ride, and you enter the most inhospitable environment known to mankind. Space.
So, Ken, just to be clear, when this thing's docked to the space station, this is outside in outer space.
Yes, sir. Space is very hostile. There's orbital debris, hypervelocity, high-speed items flying through space. You need to protect it.
The MPLM, attached to the space station in low Earth orbit, 250 miles above the Earth, is under constant attack by tiny rock and metal meteorites and pieces of man-made junk, all traveling almost 20,000 miles an hour.
So, for example, it got nailed right there.
That was a pretty significant strike.
So a burn mark that significant was made from something the size of a granule of sand.
Yes, sir. And that leads us to understand, as we all know, how hostile space is. And you can never take anything for granted.
Even getting a decent night's sleep is a challenge on the space station because there's no gravity to hold an astronaut down, and there's even less privacy. So engineers designed a special sleeping pod, 55 cubic feet in volume, about the size of a shower stall, called the crew quarters. And today, it's being cleaned before it heads up into space.
Jim, tell me something. How come I have a hairnet on and you have a significantly more elaborate getup?
If you have facial hair, then you have to wear something that covers your beard or your mustache.
So even the possible rogue mustache hair off your mustache could potentially contaminate this piece of equipment.
That's correct.
So, Chip, to the naked eye, as I look at the top of this, I mean, it looks relatively clean.
Well, let's turn the light on and take a look and see what we see.
That's amazing.
You can see how much it jumps out at you.
We actually have quite a bit of cleaning to do.
That's true.
Oh, look, I found some. So, guys, what we found here, this is more than dust or more than fibers. This is metallic material, right? I can only imagine if you got something like that in your eye up there.
The first node mission, the first astronaut in, actually got a piece of metal shaving in his eye, and they were able to take it out, but that could have been a mission ending.
Because of a few microscopic particles of metal shavings.
That's correct.
The now freshly cleaned bedroom pod has arrived at the RID, the rack insertion device. We're taking this bedroom and attaching it right here. This is actually the crane, as you can see. You come down here, has a long mechanical arm attached to that housing. It's a robotic crane that can lift up the bedroom pod, rotate it 90 degrees, lift it up, and put it right there into the module.
All set.
Brian, are you set?
We're set.
Are you driving?
Rock and roll. Yeah, absolutely.
All right, man. Make it happen. Here we go. One very large articulated robotic crane. Brian on the helm. Are we in high speed now?
We are in high. Yeah.
We are in high speed.
High slow. High slow. Not low slow.
Fasten your safety belts.
At NASA, slow and steady is how they work. So we'll do this lift for you guys at TV speed.
The next step is to take it, push it up against the wall, and put it right where Brad is climbing. So we gotta rotate. A little more? A little more? Just a smidge.
The pod is attached to the MPLM by these metal struts that will keep it protected for its violent ride into space.
And we're home.
So this pod is connected to this strut and therefore attached to the wall.
That's right.
Beautiful.
Coming up, Surviving 250 degrees below zero in space and 3,000 degrees above zero coming back to Earth will require some of the best insulation ever invented.
That's over 2,000 degrees on the inside, and I'm capable of holding it. I'll call you then. Bye.
Devin?
Cindy, it's been a long time.
Yeah, I'll say. You've got the whole Verizon Wireless network. Mr. Fear of Commitment. That's weird.
Well, they came with my pay-as-you-go plan, so I only pay for them when I use them.
So you haven't changed at all?
Nope.
Goodbye long-term contracts. Hello, America's largest calling family. Get unlimited talk to more people. Use 0 minutes. Plus, get phones starting at just $19.99. Verizon Wireless.
More cash over here.
It's much easier to find money at Esurance. Great auto insurance rates and lots of discounts.
Got insurance already? Save more with Esurance's Switch and Save discount.
It also pays to shop online. You get Esurance's Fast 5 discount just for getting an instant online quote.
Thanks, Professor.
Don't forget the good student discount.
And there's even more discounts.
It's no secret that you can save hundreds with Esurance.
Make it your mission to click or call Esurance today.
At eHarmony, you don't scan through thousands of pictures looking for your perfect match. Where's the value in that? We pre-screen each and every member for you to determine your matches based on compatibility. So when you get to that first date, you know you'll have something in common. eHarmony does the matching for you based on who you are at the deepest level. Aren't you curious to see who you'd be matched with? Log on to eHarmony.com, where it's absolutely free to review your matches.
Sharing. Pass it on. A message from the Foundation for a Better Life.
Thursday, take a spin in a rigged-up camera car.
I don't feel that safe doing that.
Scares everybody.
And we hit the slopes to see if we can physically outpace an avalanche.
I'll wait here.
Science of the Movies, Thursday at 10, only on Science Channel.
Never seen the sky so blue. The birds are singing, I got nothing to do. Hey, 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 hey. It's just a sunny day. La-doo-da-ba-da-da-da. Ain't no clouds up in the sky. I'll dream them up and watch my daydreams go by. Hey, 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 hey. It's just a sunny day.
For expert answers to the world's great questions, go to howstuffworks.com.
NASA is working to fulfill its long-standing dream of putting a man or a woman on the surface of planet Mars. Now, to do that, the first stop along the way is to get to the moon. Now, to give you a sense of perspective, the moon is located 240,000 miles from planet Earth. In a rocket ship, it takes about 3 to 4 days to get there. Now, if we zoom out for a minute, planet Mars is located 35 million miles from planet Earth, taking that 4-day journey and extending it to over 9 months. So they're far away. That's a challenge. But beyond that, we're talking about a moving target. Both the planet Earth and Mars rotate around the sun at different speeds. So NASA has to aim its rocket not at where Mars is located today, but rather where Mars will be located 9 months in the future. And that is why they call it rocket science.
While scientists build the next NASA rockets, they'll still be designing the most important component of all, the Orion crew capsule. A 700 cubic foot ship where the astronauts will live and work during the treacherous journey to Mars and back.
But before they start fabricating the thing out of carbon fiber and aluminum, which cost a ton, they have to test it. Every curve, every shape, every form. The way they do that? Completely old school and very simply, here in a model shop. Tell me about what you guys are modeling, because you have foam core and glue sticks and glue guns and X-Acto blades. I mean, this looks to me like you guys are making, you know, old school models here.
Yes. What these guys are doing is they're cutting the piece that fits right here in this model, and we're building it on a foam board.
And quite literally, you are trying to design what shape these windows will take on this craft right here.
Yes.
Astronauts look through windows while docking with other spacecraft, so they want the best visibility possible.
So, I mean, if I understand this, the astronauts love this.
They love this.
They love this. They want huge panoramic views, big panes of glass. They want to see everything.
Yes.
Why is that a problem?
Well, the problem is the glass is actually heavier than the metal. So the more glass we add, the heavier it gets. And that becomes a problem for launch and then re-entry.
So your job is actually to get the maximum visibility, but make it as light as possible.
Yes. Okay, Danny, you're cutting this piece right here. That wraps right around the outside of the window.
Got it. So basically it's...
Cut on the line.
Cut in the line. Can't this stuff all be automated, done on the computer, maybe more efficiently?
Well, that's expensive. It's cheap just to buy an X-Acto knife and trace the line.
So basically, despite the technology, despite the budget of NASA even, this is just simple, fast, and inexpensive. So should we install something?
Yeah.
You actually have made a full one-to-one scale model of the actual capsule.
Yes.
So this piece fits essentially in here. And the question is, does the thickness of this wall actually obstruct the view from inside the driver's seat? Okay. Okay. So here we are. And so what we're trying to figure out is if I can, by piloting this thing, can I see the space station to dock into it? So are we liking this? Are we comfortable?
What I can tell now is I can look up at the window and I can look at my display, but I still can't tell. I don't know what it looks like out in space.
This is still unconclusive.
It's unconclusive.
More testing.
More testing.
What? So you've built now another full-scale mock-up.
Yes.
Except this one has actual screens, actual piloting sticks. So this is how we'll ultimately find out if that piece of steel in that window will block our view when we're docking this thing.
Yeah, take a seat.
All right, so we are now strapped in, got my piloting sticks, and we're taking off. There we are, leaving Kennedy Space Center, leaving Earth, and now we're in outer space. Look at that. That's Earth. That's Brooklyn. That's where I live. This is not some random simulation. The actual shape of this window, the thickness of that steel, the way this glass works, this is what the astronauts will literally see.
The simulator helps test the Orion's windows during difficult tasks like docking with the space station.
So we are now in front of the ISS. But right now, I need to dock by actually using my eyes.
Use your eyes and give us forward thrust.
It actually is incredibly difficult to see the docking pole.
Yes, it is very tough. And then now you can see the piece that you actually cut, how it's blocking the field of view.
It is a little bit, isn't it? How are we looking?
Almost perfect alignment. You're 10 feet away.
Oh, we're right there. We're right there.
5 feet.
We're right there.
There you go.
And we're in. We are docked. And the question is, during that parking job, did that piece of metal in this window provide me enough visibility?
I don't know. Did it?
I don't know. It was hard.
So we're going to go back to the drawing board.
It's amazing. I'm going to go fly us home.
Okay.
But even flying home to Earth will present the Orion with one of its most difficult challenges: surviving the 3,000-degree re-entry through the Earth's atmosphere. It's a battle the space shuttle has been fighting for nearly 30 years.
The NASA orbiter is designed to take on an amazing range in temperature, from negative 250 degrees in outer space to over 3,000 degrees Fahrenheit when it re-enters the Earth's atmosphere.
The shuttle's first line of defense is a thermal protection system. The key element? 24,000 tiles.
Why are there tiles on the shuttle?
The tiles are necessary to protect the orbital vehicle from the extremes of temperature it sees during the ascent to orbit, and also, most importantly, the re-entry from orbit.
When the shuttle hits the Earth's atmosphere, traveling at 17,500 miles per hour, the craft compresses the air in its path, heating it to 3,000 degrees, enough to melt metal. To keep the shuttle from melting, these tiles act like an enormous thermal shield, thanks to their material composition.
This looks like Kleenex that's been through the washing machine, but is in actuality about 1 to 3 micron, very, very high purity glass. It's fired at very high temperature and forms a rigid material that feels and looks a lot like styrofoam, but will actually go to extremely high temperatures.
So in principle, this really is the same thing as rigid insulation in the walls of a house, but an incredibly high quality version of it.
Yes, that's absolutely correct.
Like the insulation in your house, these tiles are made from silica fibers, which conduct heat very slowly. But at 1/25th diameter of a human hair, these fibers are so small that heat can barely pass along them as it tries to spread through the tile. The powerful heat resistance is layered along the bottom of the orbiter. But like pieces of a tightly fitting puzzle, almost every tile is unique in shape and size. So to replace a damaged tile from a previous mission, we're carving an exact copy.
So what was once a larger billet has been whittled down to the exact shape of the tile.
That's correct.
And now what do we do with this tile now?
We take it through and we apply the borosilicate glass coating to it.
13 layers of ceramic paint will cover the foam tile and seal it from damage.
And now I'm going to put this tile right here. And that tile is going to stay here for the next 3 hours, where that glass coating is going to dry. And then when it's ready, we're going to take it, put it into a kiln, and fire it to 2,000 degrees. Okay, so we're going to load this puppy in. So we're going to take this piece, which is now glass coated.
Careful with that coating.
Careful. How can anyone be careful or dexterous when they're wearing Andre the Giant's gloves? I mean, seriously. And there it is. So that's now going to go cook for 95 minutes.
While this tile is starting to heat up, another set is coming out.
That's very hot, fellas. It's burning my face. Burning my face. Don't drop. Very hot. Look at them glow. Both of these guys are glowing. They are burning hot. How hot is it on the inside of that?
It's at 2,200 degrees.
Unbelievable. Look at that. That's over 2,000 degrees on the inside. It just came out of the oven, and I'm capable of holding it. I mean, this is exactly why the orbiter can do what it does, experience the heat that it does, and not transmit that temperature to the inside of the aircraft.
The tiles are strong against heat, but they can be easily crumbled by hand. And if they're damaged, the orbiter could be in jeopardy during landing.
And there it is, an actual shuttle tile. From an incredibly careful process, this specific unique tile has been cut, molded, painted, cooked, waterproofed, checked, shaped, finally marked.
Ready to be installed on the vehicle.
So the next stop for this tile, outer space.
Up next, an attempt to send astronauts into space faster than ever before.
So out of that flame tunnel right there during launch, that thing will breathe fire like a dragon. Exactly.
You see a wide variety of things every day, and you don't give it a second thought. Suddenly it hits you. How do they make them? A little curious, are you? Experience the complex ways simple things come to life. From pencils to playing cards, coffee to chips. We've assembled a new season full of spins, cranks, and whoa, what was that? How it's made, Fridays at 9, only on the Science Channel.
I'm telling you, we're getting smothered by DirecTV.
Oh, yeah.
Their customers love that they can watch high-def movies in full 1080p and Dolby surround sound.
Not as much as they would like watching it in 1080p.
But we don't broadcast in 1080p.
No. Neither does DirecTV. Oops. Looks like someone just leveled the playing field.
Get the best HD picture and sound. Call 1-800-DIRECTV.
Is your pet having difficulty getting into your car, climbing onto a chair, running up the stairs, or simply getting up? You finally have a safe, natural, and easy way to stop your pet's pain. Dr. Frank's homeopathic joint pain relief for dogs and cats.
He was in really bad shape. His hips were broken and were never treated properly. He couldn't run around and do the things that normal dogs could do. He was in so much pain that in order to take him for walks, I'd have to put him in a stroller. I started using Dr. Frank's spray, and just 6 sprays, it's pretty easy. There's nothing to it. And now, you wouldn't believe it's the same dog.
Dr. Frank's is all natural. You spray, your pet drinks, and the pain stops everywhere. It's that simple. Never before have these 9 homeopathic ingredients been combined to stop pain and stiffness. Our pets can suffer from many of the same aches and pains we do. Now, with Dr. Frank's spray, you can stop their suffering.
It's heartbreaking. We all love our dogs. It hurts because you know they're hurting.
Now your pet doesn't have to hurt. I'm Dr. Ken Frank,
And I guarantee that if you spray this natural and safe formula in your pet's water bowl daily, it will stop the pain.
You spray, your pet drinks, and they live pain-free. Try safe, effective Dr. Frank's risk-free. Call now and get a 200-spray trial bottle for only $19.95.
Little girl is very old. I started using Dr. Frank's spray. It was like night and day. It was amazing. She went out and played. She loved everything, and now she's the love of my life. And I'm enjoying every minute of it.
Call now and end your pet's pain with our full money-back guarantee. Call now for your 200-spray trial bottle of Dr. Frank's Joint Pain Relief for dogs and cats for only $19.95. Ask how to double your supply for free. Get twice as much for the same low price of $19.95. Call now. Put an end to your pet's pain.
1-800-308-8185. That's 1-800-308-8185.
How could you not love a face like this?
Wednesdays, the terrain is rugged.
One thing I don't do is I don't panic.
The setting unforgiving.
Nature at its best. What could go wrong?
As we run down the science of survival.
With this and this battery, I can make fire.
First, it's best to trust your instincts with Survivor Man.
Yeah, baby.
Then,
know your land, know your prey.
Man Tracker helps you find your mark.
We know this son. He doesn't. He's new to this.
Hello, ladies.
Survivor Man, followed by Man Tracker. Wednesday nights at 9 and 10, only on Science Channel.
If your lawn looks like this, and you can do this, in just 2 weeks, your lawn could look like this. Introducing Patch Perfect, the incredible power-growing grass seed that grows faster, thicker, and fuller than any grass seed you've ever used, guaranteed. Just spread it and forget it. Patch Perfect grows like crazy anywhere. This is an ordinary grass seed, and this is a Patch Perfect seed. You can see the difference. The Patch Perfect growing secret is its powerful fertilizer mulch cocoon that surrounds each seed, soaking up and retaining water. It's like each seed has its own ecosystem. We place Patch Perfect directly on top of concrete blocks without dirt or mulch, and the grass still grows. It grows anywhere. Why would you settle for an ugly lawn like this when you can have a rich, full, beautiful green lawn like this? Patch Perfect is available now at the landscaper's direct price of only $19.95. But wait, call right now and we'll double size your order. Get growing with Patch Perfect. Here's how to order.
Call 1-800-278-3357 to order your Patch Perfect. That's 1-800-278-3357. Call now.
Monday at 10:30 on an all-new Brink. The amazing future of digital displays. Newspapers automatically updating themselves, and imagine displaying information with your bare hands. Plus, a look at this month's incredible Wyoming tornado, the most studied tornado ever.
Look at that! Oh my gosh, that's beautiful!
What new information are scientists learning?
Put on your seatbelt!
It's an all-new Brink, Monday night at 10:30, only on Science Channel.
The NASA Space Shuttle will be officially retired in 2010. But the new Ares rocket program is not going to be ready until 2015, meaning there's going to be a 5-year window when NASA has no way to get their astronauts up to the space station, which is a problem. However, there might be a solution.
Located just 3 miles away from Kennedy Space Center, a private company called SpaceX is answering NASA's call for help. With a rocket that will deliver cargo and maybe even astronauts to the International Space Station.
So you will be the first ever private company to act as a shuttle service for NASA's astronauts.
That's correct.
Now, if they didn't use your rockets, the alternative would be to go to Russia?
Right, which currently is a very expensive option.
Russia would charge NASA a whopping $50 million to send astronauts up to the space station on their Soyuz rockets. But SpaceX thinks they can do it for less than half the cost by keeping their operations efficient and their launch pad simple.
Now, Brian, having been to NASA, this doesn't look like your typical launch pad.
No, we've taken this down to what we call a clean pad concept.
So instead of having a big launch tower, that huge rotating service building that you see at NASA, all that infrastructure is gone. Instead, you're going to have an empty pad, do all your processing in the hangar,
roll out in a matter of hours, go vertical and launch.
So this is kind of like, this is like a lean and mean operation.
It is definitely a lean and mean operation.
One of the most critical tasks that SpaceX must accomplish before launch is to fuel the rocket. And they have a plan to do it in less than an hour.
That sphere behind me is called the LOX tank, and it contains very, very cold liquid oxygen, one of the key elements in powering the rocket. Now, here at SpaceX, they claim they can power up their rocket in 30 minutes flat. To do that, they have to get 1,900 gallons a minute of this liquid oxygen from here over to the launch pad. To power that, they have some very, very large cable. Unfortunately, not all the cable is this conveniently located.
The power to pump the fuel from the liquid oxygen tank to the rocket comes from a substation on the other side of the pad. But those power cables are directly in the path of the rocket's 2,000-degree flames during launch. So in order to protect them, we actually have to bury them.
So the distance from the LOX tank to the launch pad is so great, the wire is so heavy that to have to pull it all the way from A to B would just be untenable.
Yes.
So just
we
cut it. And meet in the middle.
Correct.
And unfortunately, that middle that you're referring to, that's horrible. Is it safe?
Yes, actually it's very safe. I have a personal O2 meter on myself for checking for explosive quick gases as well as the oxygen level in the hull.
Good, so we have our O2 levels being checked by your little nifty thing there. Oh, you go down first. All right, Brian. Tell me if it's safe.
Great.
Hey, Brian, check the O2 meter. How you feeling?
Very good. 20.9.
What is it now, Brian?
Same thing.
Sounds good. Coming down, Brian. Oh my God, this looks like a scene from The Matrix. Ladder up. So Brian, we're ensconced in wires. These are all power cables?
Yes, sir.
And what of the wiring is live right now?
The majority of it.
It is, so
yes.
This is all live.
Right.
10,000 volts of electricity flow through these lines. Except, of course, the 1-inch copper cables that we're about to splice.
So Brian, big picture, we're taking this orange wire. We're gonna mate it with that orange wire.
That orange wire.
There we go. Here's our electrical connection. Oh. So now we're gonna put pressure on it and
correct.
crimp it.
This is the crimping device.
Look at that. Give me a hand with that. Look at this thing. Do all crimping devices make this noise? I feel like I'm killing you. Small dog. And there it is. Okay, so look at that, huh?
Here we go with the second
Here we go with the second splice. Put her in there, Brian. Yeah, there it is. Oh, look at that. Got the pin in there?
Easy work.
It's,
yeah.
Oh,
there you go.
Look at this. So 2 previously separate brown wires have now been mated.
A marriage of 2 wires.
Brian, 2 quick questions. Number 1, why do I have a propane torch in my hand? And number 2, how long have you been growing that mustache?
About 20 years.
That is a good mustache. All right, so what are we doing with the propane torch?
Well, basically we're shrinking this shrink sleeving so that it adheres to the wire and seals it from the outside environment.
Because this underground chamber sits in a low-lying wetland, it can easily flood. But the cable must supply power to fuel the rocket, even when fully submerged in water.
So to protect them from shorting out?
That's what this is all about.
Right here.
Yep.
But using a propane torch in a confined space like this means we'll have to keep a close eye on the oxygen meter.
I'm going to turn the torch on, which will then start burning oxygen as I work.
That's correct.
In addition to that, the tool I'm using is an explosive device.
That's correct.
I'm in a hole which could potentially have explosive gases.
That's correct. That's why we have the meter.
It's 0.
That's correct. So we're safe.
It's all relative, Brian. It's all relative.
If you look at the top, you can see it's actually shrinking.
Look at that. It's a good seal.
It's very good seal.
So in your estimation, this splicing is going to be watertight?
Absolutely.
That splice will ensure that the fuel from that LOX tank gets over to that launch pad immediately, getting this incredible rocket gassed up and ready for space. Can we get out of the hole now?
We can get out of the hole now.
Coming up, I'll find out what it takes.
Here we go.
To join the next generation of deep space explorers.
I'm losing the diamond.
Stay with the diamond.
Losing the diamond.
Stay with the diamond.
Pulling up. I'm losing it.
Pull.
I'm losing it. I'm pulling up. I'm pulling up.
This is Chuck. Chuck is an engineer. 48 hours ago, he was on Catch It, Keep It. Each week, One team of experts has one shot to save a dazzling prize from certain doom. Sometimes they succeed.
Yeah!
Sometimes, well, not so much. Better luck next time, Chuck.
You want it, you see it, you catch it, you keep it, and then you'll be taking
Catch it, keep it. The clock begins Friday, July 17th at 10, only on Science Channel.
I'm telling you, we're getting smothered by DirecTV.
Oh, yeah. Their customers love that they can watch high-def movies in full 1080p and Dolby surround sound.
Not as much as they would like watching it in 1080p.
But we don't broadcast in 1080p.
No. Neither does DirecTV. Oops. Looks like someone just leveled the playing field.
Get the best HD picture and sound. Call 1-800-DIRECTV.
Bull market or bear, traders are always hungry for ideas. They find them at TD Ameritrade.
Trading's all about strategy. And strategy is all about information.
So I start my trading day
with TD Ameritrade's Morning Perspective. That's interesting.
Or, look at this.
I can mine their weekly webcast for ideas.
This is what I need.
Of course, ideas are just the start.
So now I can drill down. Heat mapping.
Heat mapping shows me where the money's moving.
2,500 stocks.
One quick glance.
Cold. Cold.
Hot, right there.
Look at this, pattern matcher.
Pattern matcher spots technical patterns automatically. Wow, look at that.
Look at that head and shoulders right there.
It's like pattern radar.
Pattern X-ray vision. Plus, this amazing gadget.
Called the telephone. I can call TD Ameritrade anytime and talk trades, strategies.
Anything.
That's where the action is.
TD Ameritrade, built by traders, for traders.
Trade commission free for 30 days. Plus, get $100 cash when you open an account.
Karen was finally headed home. Make that the video store. If she had Netflix, she could keep her DVDs for as long as she wants. And she could even watch some movies instantly on her TV.
Wrong store.
No way.
Sorry.
Take the drama out of renting.
Netflix, DVDs by mail, plus some movies instantly on your TV. Only $8.99 a month.
Never seen the sky so blue. The birds are singing, I got nothing to do. Hey, 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 it's just a sunny day. La-doo-da-ba-da-da-da. Ain't no clouds up in the sky. I'll dream them up and watch my daydreams go by. Hey, 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 it's just a sunny day.
For expert answers to the world's great questions, go to howstuffworks.com.
The 1877 $50 half-union gold coin is the largest gold coin ever struck by the U.S. government, weighing over 2.5 ounces of .900 pure gold. Announcing the private minting of the 1877 $50 half-union proof. Reserve your own non-monetary copy of the rare 1877 $50 half-union gold coin as a 24-karat pure gold-clad proof, 51 millimeters in diameter, and lavishly clad in 51 milligrams of pure 24-karat gold. Final issue price was to be set at $50. Now only $19.95. Call now and get a silver-clad recreation of the largest silver dollar ever struck. A giant 41 millimeter diameter and a $20 value, yours free. Strict limit of 5 per caller. Hurry, call now.
Call 1-800-667-9089. That's 1-800-667-9089. Strict limit of 5 proofs per caller at 1-800-667-9089.
Wednesdays, the terrain is rugged.
One thing I don't do is I don't panic.
The setting unforgiving.
Nature at its best. What could go wrong?
As we run down the science of survival.
With this and this battery, I can make fire.
First, it's best to trust your instincts with Survivor Man.
Yeah, baby.
Then,
know your land, know your prey.
Man Tracker helps you find your mark.
We know this land. He doesn't. He's new to this.
Hello, ladies.
Survivor Man, followed by Man Tracker. Wednesday nights at 9 and 10, only on Science Channel.
NASA's building new rockets, new launch technology, and new rovers. But the dangerous work of flying into deep space comes down to people. Astronauts willing to take that risk.
Having gone to space 4 times.
Right.
You've orbited Earth.
Right.
You've helped build the space station. You've gone on spacewalks.
Right.
But you haven't walked on the surface of the moon.
And that was my ultimate goal. And it's humans' destiny is to go out into space. I mean, one day the Earth will not be here, and our future is out there, and each of us takes one small step and one small contribution to the direction of mankind.
But the dream of exploring space will mean tremendous sacrifice, like long, difficult trips in a tiny metal capsule. So every astronaut who heads up there has at least 2 years of pre-flight training. So, Henry, each of these images on the wall represents a shuttle crew.
That's correct.
And these are folks who have not just studied with you, but these are folks who've gone into space.
That is also correct.
These are some of the most brilliant, highly trained, intelligent professionals in the world.
Yes, they are the best of the best.
The truth is, almost anyone can apply to be an astronaut. But with an acceptance rate of just 0.5%, only 321 people have ever earned the title. It's more selective than the Navy SEALs. What is that like, preparing them to do one of the most dangerous missions in the world?
I have to say 100% of them are calm, cool, collected.
Really?
Yes, they are.
I mean, they really do have nerves of steel.
They do have nerves of steel.
All 87 astronauts who've actually piloted the space shuttle have gone through flight simulation training in this building.
Wow. So this is it, huh?
This is it. This is the motion-based simulator.
Now, it's my turn.
Everything you see is actual space shuttle hardware.
This is flight-ready hardware. This is what is in the space shuttle.
You betcha. We're going to put you in the commander's seat.
All right, Henry.
Strapped in.
Ready to go? This is Commander Forster. Over. Henry, do I have a shot at being an astronaut, you think?
Yeah, you should. Everyone has that shot.
Do you see the right stuff in me? Do you see,
I see it.
Do you see the potentiality of the right stuff?
I see it. It's vivid.
The shuttle is the most complex flying machine on Earth, and one of the most challenging to pilot. While it takes about 250 hours of training to fly a standard commercial jet, it takes 4 times as much to fly this thing.
We are ready for motion and extended pitch.
Pitch on the way. We're going to put ourselves in the actual position, pitched backwards, feet in the air, looking up at the moon. Okay? 10 seconds. Here we go. T-minus 10 seconds to lift off. 5, 4, 3, 2. Solid rocket boosters going, and there's lift. And we're going. Oh my God.
The shuttle's computer controls 100% of functions during the launch. So other than watching for problems, pilots mainly just hang out for the ride.
If you look at the window, the Earth is getting very small behind me right now.
And we're at 40,000 feet. Getting into position now for solid rocket motor separation. Oh! And there it goes. Oh!
We are solo.
We are solo.
That was intense.
It was intense.
Once they're in orbit, the pilots take over.
All right, disengage you autopilot. You ready?
I'm ready.
I have the stick.
Our lives are in your hand.
I feel like I have some stuff. It may not be the right stuff, but I definitely have some stuff.
You got a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
During landing, pilots truly test their skills. Because by that point, the orbiter has burned off all of its fuel, which means the engines are useless for the flight home. Instead, the orbiter acts like a glider and relies on natural forces to land. Gravity pulls it back to Earth from space. Inertia keeps it moving as it slows from 17,000 miles an hour. And as it passes through the air-filled atmosphere, friction slows it down. But there's one major drawback to landing this way.
If we miss, unlike a commercial airliner, we cannot turn our jets on and take another shot at this.
That's right. We have this one shot, and that's it.
Copy that. Let's go home.
Okay, you're going to see in front of you a square with wings and a rudder. Do you see that?
Am I the square?
You're the square.
Okay, what's the other thing there?
The diamond is known as the flight director.
So basically, my challenge is to keep the diamond inside of the square?
That's correct. You're going to fly the square over toward the diamond and allow that diamond to take you to Kennedy Space Center.
Hang on, I gotta get over. I'm losing the diamond.
Stay with the diamond.
Losing the diamond.
Stay with the diamond. You're doing great.
Okay, so there's the runway. I see the runway in the distance. There it is.
Looking really good.
Okay, we got it.
Hold it right there.
Hold it right there. Here we come.
And let it settle in.
There she is. Here's the runway.
Oh, very nice.
And we are down.
We're down. That's right. That was a great job.
How'd that look?
Excellent job.
Yeah?
You should apply.
That's so amazing.
Within a year, a new generation of astronauts will begin their training to launch to the moon and Mars. brave new chapter for NASA and the next giant leap for mankind.
This is real pioneering. This is real exploration. Yeah, it really is. It's part of the human psyche to explore. We've done it all of our existence. And NASA's all about exploration. These vehicles are the means to get there and to carry our spirit forward and just go.
With the Ares rocket, they want to do the things that you only read about in science fiction. And on that very launch pad, if the engineers, architects, builders, and designers succeed, they're going to put a man not just on the moon, but on the surface of planet Mars.
Our planet may be under threat. One day,